Thanks a lot, everybody. We are the damn fine-looking fake bats. The Beast on guitar. Doc Morpheus on bass. Fleabag on the drums. I'm Pat. Our new album, Nothing But an Evil Spirit Band, is available here in the retail store. Homers all over the city and in Lincoln. From the band and everybody else. You can find it all over the place, but it's only available till Halloween night. So get it for your Halloween parties. It's a lot of fun. A lot of stuff you can hear tonight on the album, and check it out.
Damn fine-looking fake bats. The house band from hell. The audio equivalent of Eternal Damnation. A band whose cover charge is your soul, and whose music is the root of all evil. And they work cheap. From their unholy birth at one of the Midwest's oldest haunted houses, to the stages of Mars music, the Bats have redefined the traditional music associated with that most entertaining of holiday seasons, Halloween. With a blend of high-powered performances of classic Halloween-oriented cover tunes and a healthy portion of creative, entertaining, amusing, and horrifying original songs, the damn fine-looking fake Bats are doing for Halloween what Burl Ives did for Christmas, mainly trying to make a few bucks off of it. The Bats' story is a simple one, and we invite you to join us as we look at this band of ghouls, from a safe distance, of course.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight when my monster from his slab began to rise, and then suddenly, to my surprise, he did the mash. In the monster mash was a graveyard smash. The mash, you'll be shot in a flash. The mash, you can monster mash from my laboratory in the castle leaf to the master bedroom where the vampires meet. Ghouls came from their humble abode to catch a jolt.
The idea of the Bats was conceived on a busy Saturday night in October 1998. This cold and gloomy night, while excellent atmosphere for a trip through a haunted house, was less than perfect for the monsters whose duties required their presence outside for the purposes of entertaining the customers waiting to enter the house. Dr. Beloff Carlosi, a longtime veteran of the haunted house business, saw that the crowds were getting impatient. Wrapping his lab coat tightly around himself, he grabbed an acoustic guitar and headed outside. Placing himself in an open grave at the front of the house, the bad doctor proceeded to sing and play the Monster Mash, and in a short time had the crowd singing along, in time, if not in key. This proved so successful that it was repeated the following weekend, and then All Hallows Eve was upon them. In the months that followed, Dr. Carlosi became determined to follow up this success with a larger-scale show for the following year. He recruited his cousin, a washed-up musician who had blown a deal with the devil. This man's name was Mark Summers, but, as a result of the failed deal, he was cursed to an existence as a half-deranged, semi-demonic rock guitarist known only as Pet. He also brought along his lab assistant, Dr. Mort Morpheus, who played a mean bass, and a genetic experiment of theirs gone wrong, Goat Boy. They stuck him behind the drums. As this group slaved away at forging a sound and a style, the months slowly moved towards October of 1999. Late in the month of June 1999, Dr. Carlosi received word that he was facing federal charges in relation to his genetic experimentation, and decided it would be best if he were to take an extended vacation. He promptly booked a flight to the Fiji Islands. This left Pet to take over the frontman duties for the band. October 1999. Damn fine-looking fake bats made their debut as a three-piece combo, appearing on stage in front of the oldest haunted house in the area of Omaha, Nebraska, for 3 shows nightly on Fridays and Saturdays. They began playing the chosen cover songs, and also debuted a couple of originals written specifically for their shows. Crowd response was good, and a following began to develop. They expanded this following with shows at local bars and nightclubs all throughout the month of October, building up to their powerhouse Halloween night show.
Like to carry bloody bodies around to the dock, put them in the back of my car and bury them in the park. Dismembered corpses, flesh and bones, they give me such a thrill. Never led a normal life, and I guess I never will. Mama always told me they'll come and take me away. Really love my mama, I'll bury her someday. Like to catch little butterflies, pin them to cardboard. As long as there are bugs around, I never will be bored. Like to grab my pussycat, swing her by
The Bats closed out their first Halloween tour with a great deal of enthusiasm and a small but devoted following of people from both inside and outside the haunted house industry. Pet, Doc Morpheus, and Goat Boy attended a consciousness-raising retreat held in Laramie, Wyoming, and formulated plans for their next big move. By late December 1999, the damn fine-looking fake Bats' vision for their first album had solidified. The band financed the project with a lucrative venture in the underground severed limb black market. As they prepared to record the album, another stroke of bad luck came to pass. Pet, who had, earlier in life, made a bad business agreement with the Dark Lord of the Underworld, found himself in a tight pinch. His contract extension had come due, and the Dark Lord himself came calling. Over the course of long and stressful negotiation, a compromise was reached. The Dark Lord of the Underworld released Pet from his contractual obligation with one condition. The Dark Lord of the Underworld wanted to join the band. He further requested that everybody just call him the Beast. Initially, Pet agreed to this arrangement merely to get out of his contract, but the Beast's skill with the guitar soon made him realize that the Bats came out ahead on this deal. The addition of the Beast's hot lead work blended exceptionally well with Pet's eclectic rhythm guitar and Doc's moving bass lines. The whole mix was supported on the more or less stable foundation supplied by Goat Boy's drums. Deep in the bowels of a house fondly known as the Funk Palace, the damn fine-looking fake Bats gathered in a small basement room they labeled the Bat Cave. The recordings created there became the album Nothing But an Evil Spirit Band. This album showed the Bats' diversity, incorporating many musical styles which had proved to be a winning approach during the previous year's performances. It also featured a live recording of the Bats' theme song, The Bats Shuffle, which gives listeners a fairly good idea of a live Bats show.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's astounding. Time is
August 2000, the Bats were asked to participate in a 20-band outdoor music festival in Beebeetown, Iowa, named, oddly enough, Beebeetown Stock. The night was hot and sticky, with storms threatening when the Bats took the stage. Dr. Beloff Carlosi had slipped back into the States for the sole purpose of seeing his old band share the stage with some of the finest musicians the Midwest could offer. As he watched from the sand of the volleyball pit, the Bats tore into a high-powered 30-minute set, a mix of originals from the upcoming album and their hand-chosen Halloween cover tunes. Thus they launched their new tour, Nothing But an Evil Spirit Tour 2000. Amidst the afterglow surrounding this great set, the Bats headed for home. Pet and the Bats' evil minion, Chaos, drove the band's staff car, the funeral escort. Doc hitchhiked as far as Missouri Valley, and then his mother picked him up. And the Beast disappeared in a burst of flames. Goat Boy chose to travel back with Dr. Carlosi in a small plane that Carlosi had chartered to get to the show. Then, disaster struck. The plane was forced to detour from its flight path because of the stormy weather. Somewhere over Clear Lake, Iowa, the plane's engine failed, and the small craft plunged into the Iowa night. Debris from the crash was found scattered over a 5-mile area. A bloody and torn lab coat was found amongst the wreckage. They also recovered a small chunk of horn, which was later identified as being Goat Boy's. In one fell swoop, the band had lost its founder and its drummer. Could the Bats survive this terrible blow? Yes. After laying the remains of Goat Boy to rest, the 3 surviving members of the band gathered together to discuss their future. Ignoring the advice of a wizened old man in the local pub, the trio wandered off into the misty moors of Council Bluffs. As they trekked through the fog, something was following them. As they entered a clearing, this something made itself known to the Bats. A shambling creature of darkness, this turned out to be Fleabag, a moth-eaten werewolf driven away from his family clan because of his premature balding. Fleabag displayed a remarkable aptitude for hitting things, so in return for a copy of the album and a half-pound of milk bones, Fleabag joined the band as the drummer, and the Bats were able to carry on with their tour, which proved to be quite a success. Following the tour, the Bats once again returned to the studios, where they are slaving away, busy with the production of their upcoming album, Bat Out of Tune, which is due to be released September 22nd, 2001. The Bat Out of Tune tour will take place throughout the month of October 2001 in nightclubs, casinos, and haunted houses throughout the Midwest. Damn fine-looking fake Bats. The best undead rock act in town is here to shake your bones and wake the dead. Enjoy some evil spirit music today. Both albums are available by emailing the Bats at fakebats@hotmail.com. You can also obtain information about the band and join the Bats newsletter, Friends of the Bats, by emailing the same address.
We played a good set out in Beebeetown. Rid of a Goat Boy. Funny nobody really seemed to care. So we hired ourselves a flea-bitten werewolf. He's the one that finally got us our lights. With the band of death and distraction, getting ready The end would be sweeter than being told to turn my head and then be calm.
No musicians were harmed in the making of this film, although they probably should have been. Most of the graphic arts images you have seen in this presentation were created by the Beastworks, quality graphic arts, at a devilishly low price. This presentation is copyright 2001 by the Psychosis Factory.